As always, we love to talk a little boxing during the week. And, of course, this portion of the show from our good friends at Mason's Boxing. They have authentic, wonderful gear. Don't forget, check them out online, masonsboxingusa.com. And they got a really good fighter, a young fighter coming up. Love the nickname, by the way. Josh, the handsome Hitman Himes joins us for a couple moments. The reigning ABA Cruiserweight champ sits at 7-1. Big bout coming up this weekend against Lamont Capers. This is a rematch. It'll take place at the Mountaineer Racetrack and Casino in West Virginia on Saturday. Josh is kind enough to join us for a couple minutes on a Friday. How you doing, Josh?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate it. And first and foremost, we love the rematches, right? You have to love the rematch in boxing. This is your only loss. I mean, you're coming into this one. You already suffered the loss at the hands of Capers last May, and I know it was a questionable affair with the scoring. 38-37 is a 4-round affair that saw that controversial knockdown slip, which was counted against you in the second round. Let me ask you this. Forget about, I don't know if you watched the tape again or you burned the footage, but what have you done differently this training to get set for this rematch?
Just about everything. I mean, that was more or less a wake-up call. And sometimes people need a little setback to actually get into gear. So we pretty much revamped everything and actually took it a little more serious this time around. Did you look at Capers as just kind of a opponent that first time around, or did you slack somewhere in training? Was your mind somewhere else? Were you not fully invested in it? I don't want to make any bit of excuses at all. I made a very poor decision by taking a fight on 1 week notice, 3 weeks after I just fought.
Yeah, that's always tough.
So it wasn't very smart in that sense, in my own doing. That was my own poor judgment. So there were a lot of things we did different this time as far as just thinking differently, making the right decisions, preparing the right way.
What I think is interesting with this fight, you had a 4-rounder. This is going to be a 6-rounder. I believe there's really not too much of a difference between 4 and 6. Yeah, you certainly have to have that stamina late in the 5th and 6th round, respectively. But my point, my contention is this. You can never give up a round in a 4 or 6-round fight without giving the game plan away. You look at Capers. He's a tough kid from Philly, from Pennsylvania, lopsided record. But again, he comes to fight, so to speak. The opponent... is this a fight where you need to come out and try to steal a couple rounds and not leave it in the judge's hands?
I definitely am not going to try to leave it in the judge's hands at all. But my game plan coming in isn't going to try to just steal rounds or not let him take a round. I'm coming to fight. Like Arturo Gatti is my favorite fighter of all time. I'm coming to bang like him.
Now, again, when you look at young career, eight bouts on your belt, 4 knockouts in 8 fights, so a nice little KO percentage. They always say you can't go looking for the knockout, but is your mindset where if I have an opportunity, if it gives me an opening, I'm definitely going to go for the knockout?
That's a tough question. I definitely wouldn't say I'm going to go for the knockout, or I mean, if it's there, it's like a piece of candy in front of a baby. I'm going to grab it, but I'm not going to go for that per se.
What's I look at your age, you're 26, and you have 8 fights, and a lot of people say, well, maybe he was a late bloomer, maybe he was in the Army ranks, maybe he wasn't a full-time fighter. How important, though, 26, 27, 28 is kind of the prime for a boxer. When I say the prime, to really start their career off and going, and then when you get in your low 30s, that's kind of where the titles, the bigger belts, the regional belts, they really present themselves. With that being said, 9th fight right now in your career, how important is this fight, and how active do you want to be this year?
I've been extremely active. Then 8 fights I've had so far, 9 tomorrow. It will be since November 2014. So in a year and a half, it's been 9 fights. It's very active. I definitely don't want to remain that active.
Okay.
As keeping like that many fights a year, but I can't say I'm going to do 2 or 3 a year. Definitely at least 4 to 5 probably for the year.
Is this your first 6-rounder?
This is my third 6-rounder.
Okay, so then I would venture to guess your next fight is definitely, it has to be a step up to at least 8 rounds.
We have some tricks up our sleeve right now. I don't know if it's going to be, if I can say yet, but okay. I think if we win tomorrow, we may have a fight international.
That's great. That's great. Listen, everyone knows the NABOs, the NABA, the ABAs, all these belts, no matter what, they have affiliations to the big boys, and you win a couple of those, it certainly gets you up in the rankings, so to speak. Let me ask you this, a couple more before I let you get out of here. And again, Josh Himes joining us. Where'd you get the nickname, the Handsome Hitman? And I'll be honest. Listen, I'll be honest. I'm secure in my manhood. Where I was looking at some of the photos and some videos, and I said, you know what? All right, he's a good looking cat. I'll give him that. He's a good looking guy. So you know what? I'm secure to say that.
Yeah, big props. Myself is included. If I see a good looking guy, no problem on saying give him credit where it's due.
Where'd you get the nickname?
My godfather actually is my corner man as well.
Nice.
He gave me after like 5 fights in the amateurs. He gave me the nickname. I try to avoid getting hit, as in every fighter does. And he was just like, "Oh, you're being so pretty. You're not getting hit, acting like a handsome hitman." And that's just stuck from that day forward.
And I know you're doing some good stuff with Mason's Boxing, part of that team. What's that like?
The Masons is amazing. I mean, I don't know if you forgot to fill the gloves or not. My manager and coach, Donato DeMartise, is like so proud of Masons as I am when he first introduced me to them, and the gloves are filled like nothing before I've ever felt or worn.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's a wonderful product too. And you talk about the merchandise and the fact that it's made in Italy. You know that they're taking the time to really make it upscale product, and obviously it's helping you here with some knockouts left and right. Let me ask you this: tomorrow night at the New Cumberland in West Virginia, the Mountaineer Racetrack and Casino in New Cumberland, West Virginia, what should the fans expect?
Definitely something exciting. In every fight, I tell people if they come to a fight, it's not going to be a boring fight. You're going to be coming, and you're going to be entertained.
And I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this because I was doing some research. So we always make the joke that every good man has a good woman, and I know your wife is she's kind of famous. I know that's something you might not want to brag about too much, but that's you have to give the missus a little props here, right? Putting up with you training all the time.
Absolutely. I'm trying to catch up to her. My wife is Bryn Marie, and she, paves the way for me. She handles everything and is always there supportive, and I couldn't do it without her.
Well, she's doing a good job. You're doing a good job early on in your career, and I know you said you might want to cut back as far as the activity. Hey, it doesn't matter about the quantity of fights. It's the quality of fights going forward. I appreciate you jumping on board for a couple moments. Wish you the best of luck Saturday in the rematch against Lamont. You got an open invite to hop on anytime again.
Awesome. Really appreciate you having me.
All right, you got it, Josh. Be well. Josh Himes, a real nice, just a nice guy, real humble kid. Again, 7-1, taking on Lamont Capers. Capers is a scrappy fighter. He really is. And we always like the rematches. This certainly was a controversial bout, even for local cards for 4 or 6 rounders. If you get the scoring wrong, you get the scoring wrong, and they got the scoring wrong on that one because it was a knockdown slash slip. I actually went back and I looked at it, and that swayed the scoring. So again, appreciate a couple moments with Josh Himes taking on Lamont Capers at the Mountaineer Racetrack and Casino, New Cumberland, West Virginia. Good spot with him from our good friends at Mason's Boxing. 17 past the 1 o'clock hour on a Friday.
Mason's Boxing, producing the very best in boxing equipment since 1978, offers fighters custom-made gloves with only the best Italian leather on the market. Handmade in Italy and comprised of horsehair padding, Mason's protects your hands to go the distance. Celebrities and championship-level fighters use Mason's gloves for their elegance, but more importantly for better performance. Approved by the WBC, Mason's gloves are custom-made to your hand. They can be personalized with your name and come in any color. Visit them at masonsboxingusa.com.